Please give him a very warm round of applause, Vik Nithy.
I feel very uncomfortable right now on this stage. I'm a bit nervous about giving this talk. It's a bit cold. Been procrastinating a bit. And I have an exam in 3 days that I haven't started studying for because I was busy writing this talk. Does anyone else have exams around this time? I know that we have some students. This is a really bad time to be giving a TED talk, but it's all right because this is an audience of young people and I wanted to communicate the message to you that we need to get comfortable with discomfort. I think you're not going to learn many useful things in school or university, but if you're going to learn anything, become comfortable with discomfort. Our generation is going to be faced with so many changes that the previous generations weren't faced with. Half of the jobs that exist today didn't exist 10 years ago. So I'm not talking about the type of discomfort that comes with like slow Wi-Fi. I'm talking about the type of discomfort that comes with climate change and overpopulation. For all we know, robots could become sentient in the next century, and that's going to be pretty uncomfortable. Schools aren't going to teach you how to deal with this emotional burden, but I think that one thing that you can do to build emotional and psychological flexibility is meditate. But I'm not here to tell you how to meditate. If you want to learn how to meditate, many of you have smartphones. Go to your app store, type in meditation app, and download an app, and you'll learn how to meditate. I'm here to brainwash you into believing me that meditation is a useful thing by talking you through 3 levels of good thinking. It can relieve psychological distress, it can help increase positive emotions, and it can help you fulfill your potential. So a lot of people hesitate when we talk about meditation, and I understand, I come from the same place, didn't really believe it. So what is it? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not thinking about nothing. Nothing is something. You can't think about nothing. Meditation, mindfulness meditation, is about paying attention to your breath. It's not relaxing. It's about as relaxing as being dumped into a pool if you've never swum before. If you're a swimmer, then being thrown into a pool can be relaxing. But if you've never meditated before, it's definitely not relaxing. It's not an escape from your problems because it gives you space to think. It's not religious. A lot of atheists meditate. And it's not easy. It's not quick. It took me 12 days of meditating every day for 10 minutes reluctantly to actually stay awake while meditating. And I really wanted to stress that it's not lame. And this is one of the key things that got me to start meditating, is that Beyoncé meditates. Is Beyoncé lame? No, she's not. Russell Brand meditates. He's not lame at all. But another thing that stopped me from meditating is that I thought that it was selfish. I was like, how can I sit here and meditate while there's so much suffering happening in the world? I would much rather go on Facebook or watch YouTube videos than meditate. It's not selfish because it gives you space to think about the things that are really important to you. So if it's not any of those things, what is it? In summary, when we're talking about mindfulness meditation, it's having the intention to pay attention to your breath with a non-judgmental attitude. When your mind starts to wander, which it will, it's about noticing that, forgiving yourself, being like, it's all right, and drawing your attention back to your breath. And you have to do this over and over and over and over and over again, especially if you're like me and you have a lot of thoughts. So this is really difficult because, I don't know about you, but I have really interesting thoughts. So when I am meditating, I come up with these really good ideas and I just want to hold on to them. I just want to stop meditating and go, but no. I've made the commitment. I've decided that the game I'm going to play is to pay attention to my breath. So you have to gently return your attention to your breath. And then you start freaking out about all the stuff you have to do, but you're not allowed to do that. That's not the game you're playing. You can play the worry game in 10 minutes. While you're meditating, focus on your breath. So what's a practical example of how this can improve your daily life? Say you're in a university lecture, and the lecturer is boring. You can decide the game you're going to play is to pay attention to this boring lecturer. When your mind starts to wander, which is inevitable, You pull out your smartphone, start scrolling Facebook subconsciously. Gently notice, forgive yourself, and return your attention back to the lecturer. And you have to do this over and over and over and over again. But the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit. So the first level of thinking that meditation can help you to build is to relieve psychological distress. So science has demonstrated that mindfulness meditation can improve the lives of people with anxiety, chronic pain, depression, and insomnia. And it changes the structure of your brain. But you have to do it every day. You can't just do it once and say it didn't work. Like I said before, that's like saying that you tried swimming, but you nearly drowned, so you're not going to do it anymore. You have to learn how to swim. You have to start slow. You have to build it up. So how does it help to relieve psychological distress? It works different ways for each disorder. So with people with depression, it only helps prevent relapse. With people with chronic pain, you can't eliminate the sources of pain, but you can help improve their daily functioning. But with people who have mental illnesses like anxiety or depression, there's a lot of rumination going on. Mindfulness meditation helps you make the commitment not to ruminate for at least 10 minutes. And if you do find yourself ruminating, that's all right. You forgive yourself. Return your attention back to your breath. And eventually this becomes subconscious. So John Kabat-Zinn at the University of Massachusetts has an 8-week program meditating every day. And he found that symptoms of psychological distress decreased across the board for all of these mental illnesses. But well-being is not simply the absence of illness. We don't aspire to be not sick when we grow up. We want to have a fulfilling life. So the second level of good thinking that meditation can help you to build is to be able to focus on opportunities to improve your life by increasing your positive emotions. Dr. Barbara Fredrickson from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, has a 3-to-1 ratio. She says that for every one negative emotion we feel, we have to feel 3 positive emotions. A lot of us go through our day thinking that enjoying ourselves is a waste of time. But it's really important to feel positive emotions and maximize the number of positive emotions that we give ourselves, because once we feel positive emotions, our perception is broadened. We see opportunities where other people see problems. Meditation can also help you savor the positive experiences that you have. So after I started meditating, I found that I was actually enjoying music more. I was actually enjoying the activities that normally I would just flit over like it's an obligation. You can pay more attention to the stuff that you're doing to make you feel competent and confident, and you can pay more attention to the people that you're talking to, and that's good. But let's take it a step further and talk about fulfilling our potential, living a life of purpose. We have to get off the satisfaction treadmill, because happiness is not about an end goal. It's an ongoing journey. So meditation gives you a space to realize what's really important to you. It helps you see what your real values are, and you start to notice what you're doing that's outside of your moral virtues. One reason why I really want you guys to meditate is because I'm deeply passionate about your potential, your dreams. I know that everyone here has dreams that they might or might not pursue. And if you don't pursue it, I reckon that's because you have a fear of failure. And not just a fear of failure, but a fear of the shame that comes with failure, or a fear of the shame that you anticipate will come with failure. If you meditate, and if you know that you have psychological and emotional flexibility, shame is not going to get in the way of you and your aspirations. I think optimism gets a bad rap, but it's nothing more than confidence. It's nothing more than courage. I think meditation will give you the courage to pursue your dreams. Discipline is a word that we often throw around, but I personally don't believe that it actually exists. That could be because I don't have it. But I think that disciplined people are just people who have really good habits. If you think about a person who has a lot of discipline, they've just fostered good habits. One way that meditation can help build discipline is every time you have to, if it's exercising, for example, every time you have to make the decision to exercise and not exercise, it's uncomfortable to make the decision to exercise. But if you've got a habit of discomfort through meditation, research has shown meditation can improve your self-discipline. And the last one is something that I think that we've lost, which is compassion. I think we've become a bit mean to each other. We complain a lot. I think we learned it from our parents. Meditation is a real, I mean, I told you before that I don't think it's easy, and that's because you fail, you have to forgive yourself over and over and over and over and over again. And when you start to forgive yourself over and over and over again, you start to like yourself a bit more and forgive yourself a bit more. And when you can forgive yourself and be compassionate towards yourself, you also find, and research supports this, that when you're more compassionate towards yourself, you're also more compassionate to other people. And I think even if you're fueling your anger to passion, compassion is really important for communication. It doesn't matter what your agenda is. I think you need compassion to understand other people, and it just makes everyone a bit like calmer and better, I think. So if psychological flexibility was a bird, I think it would be a phoenix. And I think that phoenixes, if they existed, would be very resilient birds. Because if you don't know, a phoenix is an animal that dies and then it's reborn from its ashes. So I don't think a phoenix would be afraid of anything, because it knows that if it fails, it's going to bounce back up. If you meditate, you'll develop emotional resilience, psychological flexibility. And if you know that no matter what happens to you, you're going to be able to bounce back, nothing's going to get in your way. So think about what you would do if you could not fail, and start meditating. Thank you.